Decades of abuse of the contraceptive pill have caused society to forget some rather basic facts of life. Humanity lives in a family of nations. Each nation is made up of extended families. Each extended family is made up of several nuclear families. At the center of each nuclear family is the mother who gestated it. It was nature, not men, who decreed that women bear babies, suckle, nourish, and nurture them. It is therefore mothers who ultimately hold together not only the family, but also the community in which it dwells. The home can be seen as a microcosm of the state, with the mother as the domestic equivalent of the Queen, the Lord Chancellor, the Prime Minister, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and all the Secretaries of State, as well as being head of the civil service. She's also housekeeper, cook, and chief bottle washer. Mothers have a host of hats to keep them on their toes. If the home is to be a happy one, she has to wear them all appropriately, lovingly, diplomatically, and democratically, rather than tyrannically. There is no place in society for domestic dictators. It is the mother with whom the child first bonds at the breast. It is the mother who is the focus of the child's attention for the first few years. In fact, the bond is so strong and so lasting that men in great pain, on a battlefield, or being tortured by tyrants, for example, cry out for their mothers to save them. Mothers must rise above their moods and be consistent in their teaching. After all, growing people is far more complex than growing vegetables. It is more challenging than being someone in the city or a barrister or some such. Mothering is in fact the ultimate career. Unlike all other animals, human beings are born ignorant and have to learn how to survive in that part of the world in which they have been born. Moreover, there are only 24 hours a day in which to learn. Humanity can never, therefore, know it all. Nobody can have perfect knowledge. None of us can have a perfect upbringing. We are all scarred to some extent by childhood, and it is this reality that lies at the root of hang-ups of one kind or another. Mothers are our first and most influential teachers. The better educated mothers are, the better teachers they will be. The more they learn of science, languages, literature, music, and such like at school or university, in addition to mastering domestic skills, the better able they will be to teach their own children, and the better start in life their children will have. In short, the more impeccable the spirit of the mother, the more impeccable the spirit of her offspring. It is also important for women to train for some job outside the home. Not only are they then better placed to find a suitable husband and occupy the years between leaving school and having children, they can save for a mortgage. They also have an insurance policy should anything untoward happen to their husbands, leaving them bereft with a family to raise. Financially, it is as well to remember that the average family has no lordly responsibilities, so there is no need to live like a lord, especially with modern consideration of carbon footprints. While mothers are our first and most influential teachers, the knowledge required for motherhood is no more innate than any other human knowledge. It too has to be acquired. Women cannot pick it up overnight or during the 9 months of pregnancy. But just as sovereigns and aristocrats know their destiny from childhood and use their childhood and youth to acquire the necessary knowledge and wisdom to ultimately play their part, so young girls know in their heart of hearts that their ultimate destiny is motherhood. Motherhood can never be 9 to 5. As I shall show, the kindness, dedication, and generosity of mothers is vital for the well-being not only of her children, but the wider community. but unlike sovereigns, they have always been perfectly free to opt out of motherhood if they so wish. As young girls, most women quietly start preparing themselves by playing with dolls, picking up domestic skills and the knacks of child care, perhaps by caring for younger siblings. They use their childhood to train for the responsibilities of reproduction and child-rearing. This gives women a homely rather than a worldly perspective on life. Then there is the decision about a husband. Astute girls observe that men are generally either boring and reliable or exciting and unreliable, and they have to decide which type to marry. It is a lucky girl who manages to find a man who is both exciting and reliable. The greater certainty of girls about their future gives them a self-confidence and focus that is denied to boys. This enables girls to concentrate more easily and probably explains why they often do better than boys at school. For boys, the future is not so certain. They know that their destiny lies in providing for their families. Teenage youth is beset by the anxieties associated with learning how to be men, acquiring a skill, getting a job, finding a wife, buying a house, raising a family, and generally making their way in the world. These are awesome objectives for a teenage boy and cause considerable anxiety, which requires constant guidance and reassurance. Children pick up knowledge as much from example as by instruction. Consequently, mothers, their first teachers, must always be polite and well-behaved if they wish their children to be good-mannered. They must watch their language, say please and thank you, put litter in their pockets rather than dropping it in the street, and being kind and generous.